From Dinty Moore Field in Burlington, Wisconsin, it's the Southern Lakes Conference Football Championship game. Elkhorn versus Burlington. And good evening, everybody. This is Jeff Sobolski along with Jim Kramer, and we're excited to be here tonight, as a number of fans are, to see this football game between two teams that haven't played one another since 1976, and what a night to resume that rivalry.
Right, it's too bad it has to be like it is tonight, Jeff. They've put in 12 or 13 weeks of the season, and it boils down to the two best teams in the Southern Lakes. Let's just hope that weather doesn't dictate the outcome. It's unfortunate that we couldn't have more ideal conditions, but it also is going to show us maybe who's got the better athletes in the end, because good athletes can perform under any type of weather condition.
You really can't see it very well in the picture right now, but around the 40-yard lines to midfield, we expect the turf to be torn up pretty quickly tonight. In fact, there's some shiny spots on the field right now. The field is not in terrible condition, but we can't say that it's in great condition either, because the field has been very soggy and wet for the last 3 weeks because of the inundation of rain we've had in the area. And of all things, for a championship ball game, we really didn't need the rain. The rain has been off and on this evening. We've had mostly a light mist. Very occasionally, we've had some nice rain. In fact, right now, it's almost not raining at all, and we are sort of hoping that that's the way it goes. Other than the fact that these two teams have not met in approximately 7 or 8 years, there's some other things that are happening tonight of interest, too. Both these teams are eligible for postseason playoff action in different classes, and this championship game will tell us who goes ahead.
Right, Burlington's enrollment is approximately 1,150, and Elkhorn's enrollment is approximately about 575. I'm going to make a flat-out prediction right now that the winner of this game is going to win some state tournament-type games. I think if Burlington wins tonight, that they're definitely going to win their first game in tournament competition. And I think if Elkhorn wins tonight, Elkhorn's going to take it all. They've got an exceptionally fine team for the size of enrollment they have, and it's going to play in their favor if they make it to the state tournament.
And of course, the public schools in the state of Wisconsin were closed today because of a teachers' convention. And I wonder, having a day to yourself to think about this football game may have quite an effect on the play tonight.
Yeah, very definitely. A lot of times, I can remember back when I was coaching, a lot of times the kids have a tendency to come out and be just a little bit sluggish in the beginning, mentally sluggish. It'll be interesting to see if they can shake those cobwebs that they usually come in with after a situation like that and perform well early.
As you can see, Burlington is getting ready to receive the first half kickoff, as Howie Sawyer, the big tackle for Elkhorn, is ready to kick off. Don DeMuth, the big tackle for Elkhorn, broke his leg last week. You saw that right here on Cable 3, and we're very sorry about that. But Elkhorn's a deep team, and they gave Delavan quite a bit of trouble even after DeMuth was sent out of the football game. And so we expect this ball game to be very even and very good. And here's the kickoff, and it's a low-line drive, and it's caught by Jim Pankratz. Very short, and he gets through past midfield, and he might go all the way. Jim Pankratz. And he's brought down at the 5-yard line.
Oh, what a nice run by Jim Pankratz. What a nice individual to have it happen to. Jim is the type of high school athlete that epitomizes what high school athletics are all about. He's not real big, but he's got a heart of gold. He broke it right up the middle. Burlington, on their opening series, was going to open it up. They wanted to hold back nothing on that first drive because it's real important. First team who gets it into the end zone tonight's got a definite advantage. Pankratz gave them excellent field position.
Jim will have to talk about what happened on that particular play, that Pankratz was able to bring it back at least 60 yards or so. On first down, this is Sategar on left end, and he looks good, and it's a touchdown, Burlington.
Right, that's Lauren's forte right there. Lauren has a tendency, that play is supposed to go off tackle. If Lauren reads the hole as being closed, he'll break it to the outside. The only team that has had success this year in cutting him off to the outside is Waterford. Elkhorn looked stunned on that first play from scrimmage.
They sure did. And Mike Kramer, who has, well, let's put it this way, our color man has more than just a cursory interest in this football game tonight. He's going to take the extra point, and it looks very good, and it is good. And so Burlington, with less than 1 minute gone here in the first half, as a matter of fact, 28 seconds gone, has taken a very quick 7-0 lead.
Big touchdown, big extra point. Now it's uphill for Elkhorn. Now Elkhorn cannot be conservative. In other words, it's a long time to go, and a lot of things can happen. A night like this, you're going to see fumbles, interceptions, but it is definitely now Burlington's ball game.
We'll be back with more first quarter action right after these words. Okay, here we go. 5. And we're back here at Burlington, and kicking off for Burlington will be number 53, Jose Ibarra. And I don't believe that Jose was ready to kick off so quickly with 28 seconds to go here, 28 seconds passed in the first quarter. Burlington's Jim Pankratz took the short kickoff all the way down to the 5-yard line, and Lawrence Hatenga scored for a 7-0 lead. Jack Barron with a kickoff return for Elkhorn, and he breaks a couple of tackles, but he gets across the 35 down to the 38. Jim, just for a second, how was Pankratz able to make that run in the rain on a sloppy field on a short kickoff?
Well, Burlington had a middle return set up. I'm pretty sure they had a middle return, and what Jim did, and what a good heady football player would do, is he took the ball to the middle. It was a short kick. He took it on the side. The normal player will fall down with it or run away from where his blocking is set up. Jim took it right where the blocking was set up, and the blocking did set up, and consequently he broke it.
Steve Althouse, the quarterback, will take it to the option play right side to Chris McClernand across the line of scrimmage. He's down the sidelines for a first down and out of bounds about the 45 of Burlington. And I'll tell you, we never expected fireworks like this so early.
Well, I didn't expect Elkhorn to come out in option right off the bat, but Elkhorn is forced to option right now. They can't delay their scoring. In other words, they have to show Burlington that they can come back and they have some firepower. I'm going to watch Elkhorn. They're going to option right tonight. What I noticed with Elkhorn against Delavan is when they optioned left, they were not real effective. So I think when they do option, it's going to be to the right.
McClernand stepped out of bounds at the midfield stripe. 1st and 10 for Elkhorn. And Althouse is tripped up behind the line of scrimmage for what looks to be no gain. And 43, Jeff Thumler was the first one to hit him.
And Joe Crean was in there too. That's obvious now that Burlington did a little stunning on the inside there and made the penetration. It would have been interesting to see what would have happened if they hadn't penetrated, because just as I said, they wouldn't run the option to the left, they were going to run it to left. Althouse made a good decision in not pitching it.
2nd down, a loss of 1, 11 to go for Elkhorn, down early, 7-0. And you saw the left guard for Elkhorn get up right before the snap.
Number 67, John Kelly, sophomore. That's an underclass mistake right now. Jeff, when we listened to the introductions as the game began, Elkhorn is young. Elkhorn has a couple of junior linemen, a sophomore lineman. Both their backs are juniors. This is not an experienced Elkhorn team by any stretch of the imagination, and you just saw an inexperienced person make a crucial mistake.
2nd down, 16 now for Elkhorn. Not going in the direction they want to go in, although McClernand did make a very beautiful run on 1st down, and we know that the Elks can run against most anybody in their class. Althouse will roll right and look for the pass. Trap! Caught it at the midfield stripe, and he is going to be caught just short of a 1st down at the 41. Nice play by Elkhorn.
Right, they pulled Trap out of the backfield on that one, out in the flat area on the right-hand side. He was wide open. If he made a mistake on the play at all, is maybe he slowed up just before he was going to get hit, and he might be short. They're going to measure. He gave some second effort just as he was hit, but if he'd have put his head down and just got that extra 6 inches that they might have needed, he might have been better off.
They're calling for a measurement, but from here, I can see that it's going to be a bit short. And it is, I believe, short.
Right, Mr. Trapp slowed up just before he was about to get hit, and consequently that's what held them from getting the 1st down. Very nice conceived play on that one.
So on that very nice flat pass from Althouse to Trapp, they gain 15 yards. It's going to be 3rd down and a short 1.
One of the keys tonight, Jeff, will be experienced play on the part of the centers. In other words, they're going to have to determine whether the ball is too wet to be put in play or not. This is not professional football where it's wiped off and we have a ton of new footballs to use at each play. If that ball is wet, the center has to be smart enough to call it to the referee's attention so it's not snapped wet.
You got to admire Elkhorn, though. They were shook up there early, but they're pounding their way downfield pretty effectively right now. The I formation, Barons in slot left on 3rd and 1. And Trapp will go straight ahead, and just last week he'll carry half the pack with him for the first down across the 40 to the 37 or 36-yard line.
Right, all Elkhorn does on that particular play is wedge block. They get shoulder to shoulder, form a wall, and the fullback or the tailback will put his head down and just follow until there's nothing left to follow. It's just pure wedge blocking.
Last week we saw Elkhorn move the ball effectively after DeMuth was sent out of the game, and now some adversity has come their way, and they're pounding their way right back down the field. Very impressive right now for Elkhorn. 1st and 10 for them. And Aldhouse almost bobbled it, but McClernand is through the hole, and he's almost for the first down, if not the first down. Across the 30 down to the 27.
Right, kind of a semi-delayed draw on that particular play. The quarterback comes back and kind of looks like he's going to roll right and pass. Tailback sets up, then takes the ball from the quarterback and takes it over their right tackle.
The referees, as you can see, are concerned about the measurement right now. They're going to make that a gain of 9. The ball is at the 28, 2nd down and 1. It's 7-0 Burlington. We still have as much as 9 minutes to play here in the first quarter from Burlington. Again, Trapp over right goal. First down and a little more as he crosses the 25 to the 24.
Same play as before, wedge blocking, wall forms with the offensive linemen. They seem to be a little bit right-handed tonight, Jeff. The only play they've run to the left was the option that didn't work on about the 2nd or 3rd play of the ball game. Otherwise, they've gone to the right side all night long. I don't know if that's a result of DeMuth's broken leg or they just feel they're a right-handed ball club stronger to that side.
First down, Elkhorn. Aldhouse to quarterback with the I formation of Trapp and McClernand. And McClernand will get the pitch out on the right side. Again, hits the sidelines and goes out of bounds, and it's difficult to tell exactly where he went out. But it looks as though on the monitor he crossed the 20 or just fell short of the 20 out of bounds.
Right, Elkhorn's putting together a good drive right now. They're picking up 5, 6, 7, 8 yards at a crack. They seem to have regained their composure a little bit from that stunning opening kickoff return and touchdown run by Burlington.
There was a flag on the play, Jim, and I had not seen that, but we see the referee marching it off. The set is not showing it right now, but it looks like a 5 or 10 yard penalty, and that's going to be an automatic first down for Elkhorn.
The referee must have a green handkerchief. We haven't seen any signal yet or anything as to what it was. Maybe it was personal foul Burlington.
A 15-yard penalty from point of infraction. And so the ball is at the 10. And from right here, it's hard to tell whether they have to make it. I do not believe they have to be in the end zone for the first down. So we'll call it 1st and 10 from just outside the 10-yard line. Aldhouse is going to throw on first down, and he's almost trapped. Fires short and incomplete.
Okay, that's a gutty call on Paul Yonke's part with the number of yardage or the amount of yardage they've picked up on each particular call. But let's give Steve Aldhouse credit on that particular one, and you might say credit for throwing an incompletion. He threw the ball away. Definitely all his receivers were covered, and he threw it into the ground. Smart play on a high school quarterback's part.
2nd down and 10. Again, the ball is outside the 10. So they do not have to make the touchdown for the first down, and you can see the rain coming down. Aldhouse gives the Trapp, I believe, and Trapp is hit and brought down past the 5. And I believe he's down to about the 3.
Right, the quarterback pivot to his right and gave the ball to the fullback going over right guard. Aldhouse, if you have a situation like that, watch for him to fake it this time and maybe roll to his left with the ball because he was setting up a play with that last particular play.
We'll take that back. I got the angle wrong. The game was only about 4. 3rd down and 6, and McClernand is going to try to make it around left end, but he's being chased from behind, and he's brought down for either no gain or a bit of a loss. Who was the one on that tackle?
Number 22, Tim Deaton. Outstanding defensive play. He just strung it out all the way down the line as you're supposed to do as a cornerback, and then came up and made the tackle. Obviously, Elkhorn is going for a field goal right now.
Howie Sawyers is putting on his kicking shoe. And it's going to be just a bit of an angle, left to right. Sawyers is a straight ahead kicker, and he's got a nice big toe.
Well, he's going to need a big toe right now, Jeff. This is over a 30-yard field.
Looks good.
No, wide left.
And you're right, Jim. It is wide left. No good. Burlington's football.
Jeff, we have to comment on that particular offensive series. They picked up the first down after the personal foul penalty, and I have to question, I guess I don't get paid to question, but I got to kind of question the play calling on that particular drive, the last drive there. They had success going to their right, running straight with the option, and they went completely away from it with an incompleted pass on that to open that particular series. A little strange.
Manager Dave Schaefer there looking pretty pleased as Burlington gets the ball right back, and there's a fumble on the line of scrimmage. Walter did not get that snap from center, and I believe he fell on it in time to recover the football for the Demons.
Right, a thing like that will happen on a night like this. I think David got the snap. I think he just probably pulled away a little bit too quick.
Second down, 11. Burlington has not run 3 plays yet tonight. Pitch out left. This is Larson, who rushed for over 200 yards last week, and he was dropped very quickly by someone, the right linebacker for Elkhorn, whose number has already been shaded a bit, but if I'm not mistaken, that might have been the very fine linebacker for Elkhorn, Mr. Longhorn, Dave Longhorn.
Larson's coming off a real spectacular second half part of the season. He's been a catalyst in that Demon backfield.
Also into that tackle, we'll give him credit, Joel Christensen, very good right end. Third down, inside handoff, Larson, nice hole, and he got the first down across the 30 to the 31.
Little counter type action in the middle there, draw counter type action. Walters was moving to his left. Larson set up, took the handoff, and went right up the middle. I'm sure we saw a little bit of cross blocking or trap blocking in the middle there for Larson. I think that'll be part of the Demon game plan tonight.
I think one would take a look at this football game right now and say that the offense has the advantage out there right now on both sides. First down, straight ahead, no, handoff Satenga on that counter play that we've seen them run so much this year, and he gained 5 or 6.
Right, you're going to see, now with Burlington ahead 7-0, you're going to see straight ahead basic football. Burlington is going to want to control the clock right now. The more minutes that they can eat off the clock, the more to their advantage. They're not a fancy ball club to start with, and Elkhorn played right into their hands by letting them score first.
That was a gain of 7. Second down and 3. Full house backfield for Burlington. Another fumble from center, but Walter picked it up and got back to the original line of scrimmage, and that's about it.
One thing that I've noticed, Jeff, about the Elkhorn defense, they've got their 2 inside linebackers about 3 or 4 yards off the line of scrimmage. They're definitely playing into Burlington's hands by doing that. Burlington is going to come straight at you, and if you're going to give them 3 yards or 4 yards from where the ball is marked, they're going to get that 3 or 4 yards.
Second time that Burlington has had trouble with the snap from center tonight. Third down, 3. Again, one more time. Walter picked it up, but his knee had hit the ground when he originally picked up the ball, and the referee wisely whistles the play dead at the line of scrimmage, and Burlington has messed up their opportunity for the first down.
Yeah, David, that's inexperience on David's part. That's a junior quarterback. He's getting the snap. There should be no criticism given to Dan Ritter at all. He's getting the snap, but what he isn't doing, he isn't getting control of the snap. In other words, he's trying to make things happen before he has the ball in his hands.
Well, Walter has to get his hands on the football right now because he's going to punt on 4th down and 3. And there's a nice snap, and there's a line drive kick, and it's going to be let go, and that ball's going to roll inside the 20 and out of bounds at about the 15.
Right, nice kick by David that time. Line drive, he got it hung up in the fog right where he wanted it. The man on the receiving team for Elkhorn ran to his right. I don't even think he saw it, and he got a good 10 or 12 yard roll on it, so it was an excellent punt.
We'll take time out for a word here. The score is 7-0 Burlington. We'll be right back after this. Back here at Denny Moore Field. First quarter action, 3:49 to go. Burlington 7, Elkhorn nothing. Jeff Cebulski with Jim Kramer here on Cable 3 Sports. And at the 16, Steve Althouse of Elkhorn cuts around in, makes a nice cut, and is hit by Tim Deaton at the 20 and brought down immediately.
Right, good decision again on Althauser's part. He kept the ball on the option that time, the left side. I noticed something a little bit different that time, Burlington defensively. Their left linebacker, Joe Crean, made no effort to disguise the fact that he was coming. And it looks like Burlington is sending the linebacker on the weak side to the strong side on every play.
There was a flag on the play. Again, it's tough to see those flags in the muck tonight. Somehow they're keeping them pretty hid, but you saw the referee signal. Illegal motion.
Illegal motion assessed against the owner.
And it'll now be first down and 15 for Elkhorn.
And the ball moving back down to the 10. It's first and 15.
It's not raining, but that doesn't mean it's not going to rain again. And it is a bit foggy. In fact, you on the screen have a little better picture of it than we do up here in the booth. First and 15 again now for Elkhorn. Trapp straight ahead, muscles his way past the original line of scrimmage, maybe picked up 6.
Right, Elkhorn is struggling right now. Their continuity, I think they're still a shade stunned from that opening kickoff return. They have to put something together right now. If they were held without a first down and they had to punt, that would give Burlington excellent field position again, probably inside the 50-yard line.
They give him a gain of 5, second down and 10. This is for the Southern Lakes Conference Championship, and the winner goes to the state playoffs. Althouse, left side, will cut in, makes a nice cut, but he was caught as he crossed the 20 down to about the 21, and if I'm not mistaken, 64, Mike Cookus was the one who hit him first.
Right, Burlington had 4 down linemen that time. They were either in a 6 or a 7-man front. We didn't catch it completely, but Althouse, again, good decision on his particular part not to pitch because Burlington did have the pitch man covered. Deaton was breathing down that guy's shirt as he came around the corner.
Third down, a short 5 at about the 21. And Althouse is going to throw. No, it was a draw play that did not pick up first down yardage. Ken Trapp gained about 3. It's going to be 4th and almost 2.
Burlington is going to come out of here with exceptional field position. The only mistake that Burlington can make right now is not handling the punt. Burlington should handle the punt, possibly fair catch it, but make sure they don't let the punt roll because they're going to get excellent field position.
And back to receive is Tim Deaton, 22, and Lauren Satenga, 41, who scored the first Demon touchdown tonight and the only score in the game so far. Althouse is another quarterback who punts, and his is a nice floater and a fair catch called by Satenga, and he takes it very nicely at the 48 of Burlington.
Right, excellent field position. Nice signal by Lauren. Referees get a little picky sometimes on that fair catch signal, and besides everything else, he caught the ball. That was the key.
We have 1:27 to play here in the first quarter, and Burlington now has excellent field position from which to make their second attempt at a regular touchdown. Pankratz took the opening kickoff to the 5, and they scored on Satenga's 5-yard run on the next play early in the first quarter. And here's Satenga around left end, and he was almost brought down by the end Christensen. I'll make that 67. John Kelly, the defensive tackle, and he got no place. In fact, they're going to give him maybe just a hair loss.
Right, Elkhorn right now has to come up with a defensive stand. In other words, they can't allow Burlington to go up 2 touchdowns on a night like tonight. If their reputation is merited for being a good defensive ball club, they'll do it because now is the time.
Second down 10, 49-yard line. Larson on the counter left side skips over a couple of players, makes it across midfield down to almost the 46 of Elkhorn. We'll give him a gain of almost 5. It'll be third down and long 5, possibly 6 for the first.
And it's a little counter play that they're running to the inside. It's a good safe play, and if they do happen to spring it, it's going to get good yardage for them.
You see the full house backfield now for Burlington, the one that's gained much yardage the past 6 games. This is Larson, who was hit at the line of scrimmage and brought down for no gain.
Well, Elkhorn showed a little bit on that particular defensive series. They did not give any ground at all. A lot of times the spark an offensive team will need is a good defensive series. Burlington played it kind of conservative and by the vest that time in terms of their play selection. We got an officials timeout now.
Nope, it's the end of the first quarter. The tackle, by the way, made by Mike Samuelson. Before I forget, that's the end of the first quarter. The score of the Southern Lakes Conference Championship football game is Burlington 7, Elkhorn nothing. We'll be back with second quarter action right after this. Jeff Cebulski and Jim Kramer here, and you can barely see me sticking my colored cap out the window here. Jim is next to me, and we're just into the second quarter here from Burlington, and the Demons are on top 7-0 in the Southern Lakes Conference Championship football game. And David Walter, the quarterback, will punt on fourth down. Floater, Barron is looking at it, and I believe he put his hand up for the fair catch, and he did just in time. And he caught that ball almost at the 20.
A good punt by David. It's a good punt on with weather conditions the way they are. Both teams are playing basically pretty sound football. Outside of the first two plays of the game, the kickoff return in the first play from scrimmage, it is the type of football game we anticipated where probably defense maybe would have dominated, and it has up to this point.
The ball is marked at the Elkhorn 18. First and 10 for the Elks, who have not had great field position all game from which to operate on first down after a punt. And this is McClernand around left end. He's got a blocker in front of him, and he goes past Satinga, but Satinga gets an arm on him and drags him out of bounds at the 34. First down for Elkhorn.
Yeah, Jeff, we were impressed last week with both McClernand and Trapp. They're good, hard runners. I think that's the thing that kind of amazed me on the offensive series down by the goal line that Coach Yankee didn't stay with them. They're both good-sized kids. They both run hard, and they're high steppers. All things that are conducive for an evening like tonight.
First and 10 for Elkhorn. They got themselves out of a hole and now got plenty of breathing room. Jack Barron is sent out to the right side on the I formation on first down. And Althouse will keep it around right end again, and he's hit by Call, but after he went across the 35 to about the 37. We'll give him a gain of about 3.
Right, Burlington played that extremely well. There was no place for Steve Althouse to go on that particular play. Kelly Call, Joe Crean, and a host of others were there to hold him for virtually no gain.
It's almost as though, Jim, that Burlington is sort of hoping if they can keep Elkhorn back far enough, their offense will sputter just a little bit at the right time.
Well, they're known for giving the ball up. Elkhorn has had that problem with giveaways all year. Maybe it hasn't happened to this point, but maybe that's what Burlington is waiting for.
Split out left side is Barron on first down. And McClernand around right end gets a nice block from Trapp. And he's almost for the first down as he crossed the 40. And it depends on where they mark the football. It's going to be awful close to a first down.
They're going to measure.
And I cannot see the football from here.
Jeff, we want to take a minute here to elaborate a little bit more on Jim Pankratz's kickoff return. We stated that Jim is the kind of high school football player that every coach really admires. Jim is not real big. We'll check a program here and see what they list him at. They list him at 5'9", 172. That might be just a shade heavy, but people like Jim Pankratz, Mark Olson, people who got bodies certainly have great big hearts because they do play hard. Mark Olson is another one in the defensive secondary that really hits people.
Both side tonight on defense as well as offense, and you saw the referee signal that Elkhorn is about a foot short of a first down, and the ball is placed on about the 44. They've got to cross the 44 for the first down.
Well, here's where power football takes over. If a team that has good running backs cannot pick up a first down in this situation, it is definitely a boost for the other team because this should be a piece of cake for Elkhorn by all standards.
Well, we've seen Ken Trapp get the tough yardage this season. Will he be called on again? Let's find out. Third down, 1. Quarterback sneak by Althouse, and by every indication, he has gained the first down to the 45.
Demons played it tough on that particular play. Althouse made it on second effort. Field is not real good for a play like that. It's going to work 99% of the time, but it looked to me like Steve kind of lost his footing a little bit as he tried to take that initial step.
We were just wondering how long it would take tonight before we could not tell the numbers on the Elkhorn jerseys. And Steve Althouse's number in back is beginning to disappear a bit. He plays both ways, as well as punts for Elkhorn, a real great athlete. Barron's way out left side on first down, and Althouse will carry and pitch out to McClernand, and he's caught by Larson, or Deaton rather, and he's going to reverse his field. There's a clip, you saw it right on the screen, as Burlington tackles McClernand way back at the 40, make that the 40-yard line of Elkhorn. And right in front of the screen, I don't like to play umpire all the time, but I saw a clip.
Right, Mr. Lindemann is trying to disguise the fact right now. He had, the only person that could have stopped that play was the person that Mr. Lindemann clipped. I think in anticipation, he threw it a little bit early. If he'd have let the back set the block up for him, he might have had a legal block, but it was definitely a clip. He doesn't have anything to get excited about down there. It did happen.
And that's from the point of infraction, so the ball is going to be taken all the way back to about the 20. And we'll have to do some arithmetic here. 5, 10, 15, 20. First down, 25. Make that about 23.
First and about a quarter of a mile, Jeff. Now we might be able to see the ball in the air.
Althouse has only completed one pass so far. A nice flat pass to Kenny Trapp in the first quarter on their first stalled drive for a touchdown, and they go right into the shotgun, and you called it, Jim. Down the middle, caught. Nice pass, nice catch. 87, Joel Christensen.
Called it both ways there, Jeff. Nice pass and nice catch. Althouse stayed in the pocket nice, threw a real clothesline out there. Was a little bit behind Christensen, but he came to his knees to stop his momentum to catch the ball. Excellent on both parts.
Now it's still second down and around 17-18, but showed a lot of guts on Althouse's part, and they're going to go right back into that. With a wet field and a wet ball, that ball zeroed in on Christensen. He's going back again, looking left. That ball is going to be a completion because of interference on Tim Deaton's part, and we can see it from here.
Right, very definitely. We said Mr. Lindemann had nothing to cry about on his clip. Mr. Deaton has nothing to cry about on that particular pass interference call. He was covered. Tim did the job he had to do, except he was just a little bit too tight on the receiver's back. In a situation maybe one level up, college level, that is not going to be called. That's just going to, you're going to say that's excellent defense. At this particular level, the referee's got one hand on his back pocket the minute he sees any contact at all to pull that flag out.
Well, there certainly was plenty of contact. Half of Deaton, I believe, hit the intended receiver. And so that is an automatic first down of the defensive penalty. And now Elkhorn's got their break right back, and their drive continues as they cross midfield to the 47 of Burlington. McClernand, nice running out of a small hole across the 40 to the 35.
Right, we got a comment on those two passes out of the shotgun. Steve Althouse did that against Whitewater. They were down 10 points with about 4 or 5 minutes to go. Althouse took them down for the victory right out of the shotgun through the air. It is obvious right now that the weather is not bothering Elkhorn at all. They've run the ball well. They've thrown the ball well. I still think the opening touchdown stunned them a little bit. Now maybe they're coming out of it. Now they're showing us why they have done as well as they have all year.
Double wing left side. McClernand on the same play, and he skips across the 30 to the 27.
Right, it's just a power play. They're out of an I formation. They got two wideouts on the left, and all they're doing is running behind their big right tackle. And it's wall blocking or it's wedge blocking, and we saw him do it against Delavan. They've done it all year long. They get behind number 78. He's in the ball game now for only the second time this year, Tim Lindemann. He had knee surgery earlier, and they're just following that big stud right down the field.
McLernon is a junior. He'll be back. He gets the ball one more time, but this time he was hit behind the line of scrimmage, and that was 74, Bob Sorge, who hit him behind the line of scrimmage and kept him away from that very thin hole that McLernon loves to run through. And it's a gain of maybe a yard. It's going to be third down and a long 2.5.
All right, Sorge is on defense tonight. Normally Sorge is also an offensive tackle, but they've started Craig Greenwald, Burlington has on offense. They feel he matches up a little bit better with Howie Sawyer.
Big down for Elkhorn. Third down, almost 3. This is Barron on an inside handoff for the very first time. Not Barron, I'm sorry. That was a new running back for Elkhorn. We'll get his number, Jason Barrett. And Barrett carries the ball across the 25 to the 24 and the first down.
Burlington essentially defensed it well. It was a good run, and it was a good defense. You saw two real fine things happen on that particular play.
As we said before, Elkhorn is fairly deep at their positions. Double wing, left side, 1st and 10. Trap, right up the middle, trap play, breaks a tackle, and now it takes 5 black-shirted demons to bring him down as he crossed the 20, down to about the 16.
Right, little inside trap with a fullback carrying that time. Aldhouse took the handoff and started to his left, and as he was going to the left, he handed it off to the fullback, who followed the center of his line.
The ball is just short of the 16. Second down, 2.
Elkhorn's putting together a good drive here. After adversity kind of struck down early in this particular series, they're moving the ball extremely well.
6:20 to play in the first half. Elkhorn is still not entered to the end zone. They've gained a lot of yards. Barrett caught behind the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1. That was Jeff Ranker right on top of him as soon as he got the ball.
Excellent. That was Dave Dirks. Jeff, Dirks kind of an unsung hero for the Demons. He's probably their most emotional player. He's a type of football player who is constantly ready to play football. He has football mentality. He's an aggressive football player, and it's plays like that they're going to need out of their seniors like Dirks to keep Elkhorn out of the end zone.
Now there was a penalty, and the people on the TV screen, our TV audience, I've been watching the people on the TV screen, and they've seen a little more than we have as we've been checking our figures. And if I'm not mistaken, that's a holding call.
Well, I don't know where this referee is throwing his flag, but of all the penalties that have been thrown tonight, I haven't seen a flag hit the ground yet.
That is a hold. Second down, and we'll call it 16 for the first. Another big penalty against Elkhorn, just stalling them enough to keep them out of the end zone with 6 minutes to play in the first half. Aldhouse will throw. Caught! Nice catch! 84, Kirby Peterson.
Excellent catch. Peterson was one of the 2 wideouts on the left-hand side, and he split the zone, and the ball was right there. It was a tough catch. He had to go up in the air, and then not only that, but he knew he was going to get hit the minute he caught the ball. He made an excellent catch.
A very precise route,
right,
and Aldhouse knew exactly where he was going to be.
He hit the seam exactly.
It's going to be third down. The ball just short of the 15 at about the 16 and a half. Trap over the middle, and this is going to be close.
Right, it's kind of funny now. We've seen Elkhorn twice get hit with big 15-yard penalties, come back, throw 3 long passes. They seem to have a tendency to be able to move the ball whenever they want to move the ball through the air, but yet at this particular point they don't seem to be in any need of throwing it all the time.
They are bringing the chains out. This is going to be very close to a first down, if not a first down.
I think I will. Tonight's game in part B.
Looks good. First down.
Well, I think, Jeff, this drive has already gained more than 100 yards. They've been penalized, 45 yards on this particular drive?
At least.
So you take the 45 yards that they've been penalized and the other 50 or 60 they've picked up on the drive. They've been in the end zone once already.
In a very slow way, it's disheartening for Burlington that they haven't been able to stop them yet. McLernan will trip again over a tackler, cross the 15, and then get hit at the 14 and brought back. And the whistle was made very quickly as 4 black jerseys pushed McLernan back after a gain of, we'll call it, about 1.
Burlington has had problems throughout the year against the pass. I'm sure both teams have a very extensive scouting report on one another, and I'm sure Elkhorn realizes that, and it looks as if Elkhorn can throw whenever they want again tonight.
Allhouse is going to throw. In the flat, open is Barron, he's got it, and I believe he's in for the touchdown. He is. Touchdown, Elkhorn.
Right, they ran it was a little delayed. Barron was already out there on the position, and what they did is they ran the wide receiver running the same pattern as he ran about 3 plays ago, a slant over the middle. Allhauser gave him a little arm fake. The defensive back went with the fake, and Barron was standing out in the flat area all by himself.
Again, another very precise pattern run by a receiver from Elkhorn. And both teams now have entered the end zone, and it takes an extra point to tie it. Howie Sawyers. And it is no good. Sawyers missed it to the right. The second time he's missed a kick tonight. The first was a difficult field goal, but this was an extra point. And with 4:11 to play in the first half, it's Burlington 7, Elkhorn 6. We'll be back with the championship game right after this. 4:11 to play in the first half. Elkhorn has drawn their first blood, but it wasn't good enough. The extra point by Sawyers was missed. It's Burlington 7, Elkhorn 6. Southern Lakes Conference Championship action. Nice kick. This is Larson, or make that Crean, across the 20, 25, and he gets past the 30 and twists around until he hits about the 32.
Right, I think if anything else on that particular drive, Elkhorn showed that it has offensive potential. They've showed us defensive potential. Now they showed us offensive potential. They can go into the locker room 1 down and not really be dejected or feel that they're out of the ball game. They know they can move the ball at this particular point. Very important right now for Burlington to pick up some yardage.
And David Walter, who has not hit the field quarterback in a long time, calls signals, and he missed a handoff and went back to the line of scrimmage for no gain. Looked like a blown play, Jim.
Right. I don't know what play it was supposed to be. It was nothing seemed to be in sync in the backfield. Walters juggled the ball momentarily and then kept it. Like I say, Burlington has to come out right now, and even if they don't get any points on the board, they have to show Elkhorn that Elkhorn has not figured out what they're doing and can shut them down.
They give them about a foot gain on the play. Second down, we'll still call it 10. Satenga, left side. Longhorn picked him up first, and he was brought down from behind by Steve Allhouse.
Okay, Jeff, that's a 73. That's the same play that Satenga ran in for the touchdown. The difference there is that Elkhorn learned from that first play. Again, Satenga's forte is basically not turning it up the field. The play is designed to go off tackle. Satenga floats with it and takes it outside. He's had success all year beating inferior defensive ends on this particular side. He's going to have to turn it upfield from this point on because he's not going to beat the Elkhorn defensive ends.
Under 3 minutes to play first half. Third down, 11, Burlington. Draw play, Crane. Made a good run, but there really wasn't a whole lot of room as he picked up possibly 3 or 4, and Burlington's going to have to punt again on 4th down and 7.
Well, we have a situation now, Jeff, where Elkhorn's going to get the ball back with 2:23 to go. Coach Yankee is not immune to putting it up. I think Coach Yankee's going to go for the lead at halftime on this next offensive series.
David Walter, the quarterback, will again boot the ball for Burlington as he stands back at his own 21.
Number 22, Barron, 85.
That's a low floater, and it is going to be touched by Jack Barron, And he's at his 35, 40, 45, 50. Watch out, here comes Jack Barron, and he's going to go all the way for the touchdown for Elkhorn.
Oh, did he set that up nice, Jeff. That wall was set over there on the left side, and I didn't catch who threw the initial block, but Barron set that blocker up right essentially where he fielded the ball. He made a little fake upfield, hesitated, the blocker came down, blindsided the only Burlington tackler that had the chance to make it, keep it from going to the outside. I wish we had instant replay, because I'll tell you, Barron set that blocker up just perfect.
Well, you'll have an opportunity to see that play at halftime of this replay. If anything, he scored a bit too quickly. There's still 1:48 to play in the first half, and Burlington has run back one kickoff tonight for big yardage. Burlington now is going to call a timeout to try to assess exactly how Elkhorn is going to put this thing together. Either that or they only got 10 guys out there. But in the confusion, there is timeout, and we'll go back to the studios. The score now is Elkhorn 12, Burlington 7. We'll be back right after this. Timeout is over. Jim?
Burlington was caught short a man on that play. I think it was Mike Wallace wasn't on the field, and I think they anticipated that maybe Elkhorn would go for two, so it was basically a smart timeout to get organized on a situation like that.
Here's a big point for Elkhorn. Sawyers has missed 2 kicks tonight, 1 extra point, 1 field goal, and if he hits this one, Burlington has to at least score a touchdown to tie the game. And I believe there's going to be a delay of game, or maybe that penalty we saw last week where one player was not prepared as he entered the line of scrimmage. And that's exactly what it is, Jim.
Right, the old mouth guard penalty. I don't know. I guess a good call. You don't want to have the orthodontist bill, but I don't. God forbid how that referee can spot those mouth guards not in place. It just never ceases to amaze me. That must be his one job.
I believe the player who did it has what looks to be extremely clean uniform, so it was very easy to see him. But now Sawyers has a kick which approaches his field goal that he missed, and I hope this does not weigh in his mind too much.
Right, this is a 32-yard kick. 27.
Here's the boot. Looks good. It is good. The score now, Elkhorn 13, Burlington 7. And we'll be back with the rest of the first half of this conference championship game right after these words.
Jeff, this is an excellent Elkhorn team. There's just no doubt about it. You can see they've got class, they've got good athletes, they've got the potential to score, they play good defense. Burlington right now has something bleak really facing them. They're only down 1 touchdown, but the point is Burlington is not really known as a passing ball club.
And Elkhorn has controlled the football the majority of the first half. Sawyers, who very confidently kicked the 27-yard extra point, now kicks to Larson at the 25, 30, 35, 40, and he missed a block, or he might have went all the way as Pankratz did in that first quarter. He got past the 45 to the 46.
Right, very, very fine special teams play we're seeing tonight. Maybe not so much on the defensive end of it, but we're sure seeing some excitement on the offensive end of the special teams.
And so Burlington now has inside of 1:40 to play in the first half to try to get back in this football game, and we're in the first half. Walter is going to throw. He's looking for Crane. He almost caught that ball at the 25. The 25 of Elkhorn. That was almost a circus catch.
Right, very nice throw by David Wallers. We saw Joe Crane drop a pass like that in the Wilmot game. Same type of pattern. He was a little bit more wide open in the Wilmot game, but that was a catchable ball. It was thrown over the wrong shoulder, but it was still catchable.
And at least we had a chance to see Walter throw the ball. And we know that he can, if he has to, wing it down the field. You see Crean running off the field. Burlington now, 1:22 to play in the half. Same motion play on Walter's part, and he's caught behind the line of scrimmage and brought down.
Okay, you can't fault David Wallers on that one. You got to give credit to the defensive secondary of Elkhorn. All the receivers were covered. And David did the right thing. David did not panic. He didn't get rid of the ball, throw an interception. He took the sack, and that's exactly what you have to do. So that you give credit where credit is due. Give credit to the defense of Elkhorn, and give credit to David Walters for not throwing it away.
We've got a timeout in the field. Joel Christensen was the man who caught Walter behind the line of scrimmage. And it's timeout with the score now. Elkhorn 13, Burlington 7. We'll be back with the remainder of the first half right after these words. And there you see the Burlington marching band that has gotten a respite from the rain, and they're going to be in a contest tomorrow, and they're going to practice, and you're going to see that at halftime. And it's not really a practice, it's a good show. So stay tuned for that right here on Cable 3 Sports. Third down, 18. And Walter will try it again. In the flat screen, Satenga's got it, gets one block, and he was not able to get any speed at all as he crossed the 35-40 there. And he's brought down after a short gain. It's going to be fourth down and about 16.
Okay, we got to give that play about a 65 or a 70, Jeff. It's a well-conceived play. It's a play that can get you yardage, but what happened is Satenga did not delay faking the block long enough. In other words, Satenga headed for the flat area too quick. He didn't give the defensive backs a chance to retreat so that he would have his blockers in front of him and set up. If he would have delayed just a little bit, I think they would have picked up the first down on that particular play. On a screen pass, everybody has to at least fake a block. Nothing was faked that time. Satenga streaked right out to the flat area.
We got a timeout called by Elkhorn to try to run back another kick. The score, 13-7, Elkhorn. We'll be back right after this. And there you see the clock, 5 ticks to go in the first half. Elkhorn has come screaming back, 13-7. Over the home team, Burlington, right now in the Southern Lakes Conference Championship football game. The winner goes to the state playoffs in their respective class. And David Walter will do the booting for the Demons. And back is Barron, who ran the last punt for a touchdown. Good kick, but Barron's going to have another chance on a line driver from the 30. 35, same path, and he's going to get shoved out of bounds at about the 44. So 45 seconds to play, and Jim, do you think that Elkhorn's going to throw the ball?
You're going to see it in the air. Paul Yankee is not going to be content to sit on it. He's going to take it down the field. He's a gambler. He's a riverboat gambler. Jeff, I just want to mention for a minute Dan Ritter. I think right now maybe Burlington's best lineman. Other linemen might take offense at me saying that, but Dan Ritter handles all the snaps, long and short, does an excellent job as an offensive center, and I have not seen him make a bad snap yet this year, either long or short.
And indeed, Jim, Elkhorn goes in the shotgun on first down. Althouse is going to roll right to get away from the rush. And he's going to take it himself. He outruns one blocker, goes down the sidelines and out of bounds at the 40-yard line of Burlington. A nice, smart run by Steve Althouse.
Right, Burlington's left defensive end got caught up somewhere. In other words, you got a shotgun formation. What you have to do is have both defensive ends contained. Pressure's got to come from the middle and the ends have to contain. Somewhere along the line, we lost a defensive end here on Burlington's part. Althouse is an exceptional athlete and has got good speed and is going to outrun most people once he gets in the secondary.
First and 10, Elkhorn, and Althouse calls signals, and they're back with a double wing on both sides from the shotgun. He is being rushed way back, and he better watch out. He throws it, and I'm sure they're going to call intentional grounding on that one.
Well, if they don't, the referee can't see the number because he threw to a lineman.
Yep, there it is.
I think it took the referee time to try and figure out who the person was. Like you said, mud covers the jerseys right now, but I think it was number 63 that they threw the ball to, and the referee did the right thing. He didn't panic and throw the flag too quick. He checked out who the number was, and what it amounts to there is not only is it a big play from the standpoint that it's an incomplete pass, but it's a loss of a down plus the penalty.
Todd Babcock was the mistaken intended receiver of that pass from Althouse.
The difference there defensively was that they contained him. Both defensive ends contained Althouse, and they got good pressure up the middle.
So it's still going to be first down. Do you think they're going to run the ball now, Jim?
I would say Mr. Yankee will probably sit on it now. He's going to say, what have we got left out there? 27 seconds, and we've got, I think that he'll sit on it. I think he saw the bad things that can happen. An interception right now would put Burlington in a position to maybe come back. So I think what we'll see right now for the last 27 seconds is conservative football.
Well, the Burlington band is ready, but Jim, they decided to go.
My theory.
Well, that's a draw play. That's trap. Breaks a tackle, crosses the 35 down to about the 39, and that just might be the last play of the first half.
Conservative play, right, Jeff?
Indeed, semi-conservative. Now Burlington decides on third down they're going to call timeout, and so we've got another whistle with 13 seconds to play in the half, and the score: Elkhorn 7, Elkhorn 13 and Burlington 7, and we'll be right back after this. Seconds to play in the first half. It's third down and 31 to go, and I don't know if Burlington has another timeout left. I have not counted them. Althouse will play conservative. Fumble, I believe, by McClernand. It's picked up by Burlington, and it's the Demons' ball with 7 seconds to play in the first half.
Not an unusual call, just good penetration on the defense's part. The play never got off the ground. It was just a tailback power play off a right tackle, and the play never got off because somebody made good penetration from the defensive end. It is still a good call on Yankee's part. I mean, you shouldn't fumble on that play.
Now, Jim, I'm not much on the rules right now as far as the clock is concerned, but Burlington has just called a timeout. Was the clock going to run before the ball was snapped?
No, I don't believe it would have. I believe they would have had once the chains were moved, and a change of possession. I think Burlington should have had, in other words, enough time left on the clock to get the playoff. But
David Walter will try to throw, we're sure, for the tie score. Over the middle, Larson's got it, but he'll be brought down immediately, at a nice tackle by Elkhorn's 10, Kelly Truesdale, and that's the end of the first half. The score of the Southern Lakes Conference Championship football game from Dinty-Moore Field in Burlington is Elkhorn 13 and Burlington 7. This is Cable 3 Sports with Jeff Cebulski and Jim Kramer, and we'll be back with some halftime comments, and we're sure a very beautiful halftime program by the Burlington High School Band right after these words. And there you see the Burlington High School Band, which is going to give us a halftime that will be well worth your watching. But first, some comments in the first half, Jim.
Well, Jeff, we don't want to take too much away from the band here. They've done a lot of hard work this year, so we'll give them all the airtime we can get. Elkhorn is a very excellent football team, both offensively and defensively. What Burlington has to do now is come out in the second half. They're on defense to start the second half. They have to shut Elkhorn down. They cannot give Elkhorn that third score. If they give Elkhorn the third score, the ball game's over. Then they have to hope, when they do shut them down, that somewhere along the line in the second half that they pick up some of these giveaways that Elkhorn has given everybody else throughout the year. But let's turn it over to the band right now, and we'll just elaborate on that a little bit more before the start of the second half.
Indeed, we'll just go over the scoring real quickly. Lawrence Satenga from 5 yards out after Jack Prankratz ran the short kickoff, returned to the 5-yard line in the opening play of the football game, and with 28 seconds gone in the first half, it was Burlington 7, Elkhorn nothing, and it stayed that way till the second quarter when Jack Barron caught a nifty pass from Steve Althouse in the left flat, carried it over for the touchdown from a little over 20 yards out to make the score 7-6 as Sawyers missed the extra point. Prior to that, in the first quarter, Elkhorn had missed a field goal from about 30 yards out, and Sawyer was having a hard time at that point. But then Barron scored a second touchdown on about a 60-yard run on a punt return for Elkhorn on a beautiful play, making it 13-7 here at halftime. In front of you right now, the Burlington High School Demon Band. We'll give them the microphone, and we'll be back with first half highlights a little later on, right here on Cable 3.
Yeah, we got a contest in Spring Valley, Illinois. Saturday, last one. Spring Valley, Illinois. Yeah, I forgot. I'm really sorry, Tony. I worked all day today. I was up there 9 hours, and I got home for an hour, and I completely forgot. Yeah, I'm sorry. I feel bad for them when I didn't get it done.
Terry, you were from the yardage on the
there you see the Burlington High School Band in a warm-up to a big band contest they're going to be having tomorrow in Illinois. And I have to say, we got a great halftime show here in Burlington tonight under conditions which you can't say are ideal, but they did a great job, and we're really glad that the Lord kept the rains down during halftime to see this. And I have to say that we don't like to call our own shots around here, but I was mighty impressed with the production work of Shad Brandon along with Dan McVeigh and Bob Brandon on the cameras at halftime. And I'm going to love to see this football game myself. As far as the halftime is concerned, it's going to be very beautiful to rewatch. Many colors, lots of great movement, and some excellent music from the Burlington High School Band. Back here at Dinty Moore Field in Burlington, Wisconsin, Cable 3 Sports brings you the second half of the football game for the Southern Lakes Conference Championship between Burlington and Elkhorn. I'm Jeff Sobolski with Jim Kramer, and we saw a very exciting first half of action, and we didn't expect we'd see so much action, but the rain has stopped, and both teams did not seem to be too altered by the wet weather, except possibility for the Burlington running backs.
Right, they haven't got into the flow of things yet. They haven't put together a real sustained drive. They had the good kickoff return by Jim Pankratz, and then the run for the TD by Lauren Satenga, but they haven't got into the flow of things offensively like Elkhorn does. This is a big defensive possession right now, or a defensive series for Burlington. They have to shut Elkhorn down on this series. It's not a matter of them winning or losing the ball game, but for morale purposes, they have to shut them down so that Elkhorn does not go up by 2 touchdowns. Being up by 2 in a game tonight could be disastrous.
53, Jose Ibarra will soccer style it off the tee. And there it goes, second half action. Here's the dangerous Jack Barron, who fakes that handoff and goes through a little hole at the 30, down to the 35, 36, and he'll be brought down there as the second half begins here in Burlington. Just to adjust some of the figures, of course, Lauren Satenga scored that first half touchdown from 5, but then Jack Barron caught a 15-yard pass from Steve Althouse for the first touchdown, the missed extra point, and then Barron ran what is now been called a 70-yard punt return to give Elkhorn the lead at 13-7 just into the second half. And with a little less than twice this many seconds gone in the first quarter, Burlington had the lead. And this is Chris McClernand dancing his way across the 40 to the 42.
Right, Elkhorn opened up with the tailback off tackle on the left side. Picked up good yardage. Looks like he picked up about 7 yards. Like I say, this is a series that Burlington has to get real tough on. Otherwise, Elkhorn's going to put the ball game away.
Elkhorn controlled the football most of the first half, but only gained the lead late in the first half. Trap, big hole, right side, big gain, across midfield, 40, down to the 37, Ken Trapp.
Right up the middle, wedge blocking. Trapp looked like a runaway stallion on that one. Bad field conditions and everything. He just was not to be denied on that particular play.
That was the Ken Trapp we saw play last week against Delavan in the second half, and if Elkhorn has any of that flavor to this half, Burlington is going to have a long football game ahead of them, or perhaps even too short. First and 10, Trapp again, same call. This time he's met by a host of tacklers at the 35.
All right, what we have now, Jeff, is that Elkhorn is going to come at them with their straight ahead stuff, and they're going to be content with running the clock down, picking up the 3, 4, 5 yards at a crack, and then when they do get in trouble, you watch for Mr. Althouse to go through the air again. I am very much impressed with the Elkhorn receivers. That was the only question mark I had in my mind. I knew Althouse could throw, but I didn't know, besides Barron, if they had any other receivers.
And Barron is flanked out right side. Althouse will clear out left side and throw back to his right toward Barron. And Tim Deaton has intercepted the football at the 13-yard line, and he's pulled out of bounds by Barron at the 15. What an interception by Tim Deaton.
Right, very, very fine play by a very fine athlete. Yankee went for broke. Like we said earlier, he's a riverboat gambler. He didn't have to do that. He was banking on the fact that the Burlington cornerback would leave home on that particular play. They rolled left, and he threw way across the field. Deaton is too good of an athlete to get fooled on a play like that. Nice interception.
Great interception. Was not a badly thrown ball, just a little short though of the target. And so Dave Walter brings the Demons out of the huddle for first down action in the second half. And straight up the middle, I believe Joe Crean with the football as he gains to the 20. It'll be second down and 5 for the first.
It'd be interesting to watch this series of football for Burlington now. When things have got tough for Burlington, they've gone back to basic football. Fullback up the middle, halfback off tackle. Let's see if they find that format again tonight.
Under 10 minutes to go, third quarter. This is the first time Burlington's had a chance. And this is Satenga on that counter play, and he slid a little bit, but still gained yardage, close to first down territory at the 24.
Okay, they went with the fullback on the first play. They faked to the fullback, came off tackle. This time Satenga didn't float. He ran it where it was supposed to be run, and he picked up good yardage on it.
Third down 1, and every third down is important for Burlington now as they're down by 6 points. Straight ahead, this is Larson, and he has the first down, crossing the 25 to about the 28.
We don't have any official stats up here, but that's the first down that I can remember Burlington getting by rushing. Jeff, I don't know, you can stand, correct me on that if you want.
They haven't had many, if they've had any at all. Like we said, Elkhorn really dominated first half action, even though they were down by 7 points for most of it. And here's right up the middle to Crean, and he pushes the pile toward the 30, and they're going to mark the football back at about the 29. Second down, and we'll call it a very short 8.
Look for that halfback off tackle on the next play.
This is for the Southern Lakes Conference Championship and a place in the state football playoffs. This is Larson around right tackle, as you called it, on the other side, Jim, and he crosses the 30 down to about the 31, and they're going to have another big third down play. Third down, and we'll call it 6.
Well, it'd be interesting to see if there's any gambler in Dalton, because they've got third and relatively long. Elkhorn has played the run pretty tough on the last 2 plays. Let's see if Dalton's a gambler.
The gambles have not worked out for either coach tonight so far. Third and 6. Straight ahead, Satenga backs up, but is short of the first down at the 35, and they're going to have to boot it.
Right, I'm surprised. They sent Tim Deaton into the ball game, and usually when they've sent him in previous times during the year, he's either come out of the backfield as a receiver or they've run a counter with him. Well, they went away from him this time. Kind of surprises me a little bit. Normally when he's sent in the ball game on offense, he becomes a part of that particular offensive play.
Of course, maybe they thought that Elkhorn knew that, and they tried to counter that. A lot of head games being played out there from both coaches' standpoint. And here is Walter with the boot. That might have been slightly tipped at the line of scrimmage. And the runner is 85, Steve Lavin. He caught the football at about the 36 or 7 and brought it back across the 40 to the 44. First and 10 now from slightly in their own territory comes Elkhorn ahead 13-7. We have not seen a drop of rain since late in the first half. And we have 6.5 to play here in the third quarter. That might have been a broken play, or Aldhouse knows what he's doing, but he's got open field on the left side, and he could go all the way. Steve Aldhouse, touchdown, Elkhorn.
Well, I think what happened, Jeff, is that it was supposed to be an option play to the left side. Fullback trap slipped. They're right in the icy part of the field right now, and he tripped Althouse is an exceptionally fine athlete. He kept the ball and turned it outside, and he can run with any defensive back in the league. He is fast, and he just got Elkhorn a big touchdown on about a 55-yard run.
54 official yards on that play. Steve Althouse on what looked to be an option play that didn't start out well at all. But Althouse, as Jim said, a fantastic athlete. Outran the entire secondary of Elkhorn, and now they have a big lead, and Sawyer boots it, and that kick is no good, again wide to the right. The score now, Elkhorn 19, Burlington 7 in the third quarter. We'll be right back after these messages. There you see the score. Elkhorn has just put 6 more points on the board. Steve Althouse on an option play to the left side, 54 yards for the touchdown. And Howie Sawyers, who's had a little difficult time with the toe tonight, getting that ball to go straight, will be doing the kicking off for Elkhorn. They're up 12 points. Takes 2 touchdowns now for Burlington. Low kick, and this is Larson on his own 20. 25-30. 35-40. He's got one man to beat. Neil Larson. He's going to go all the way. Neil Larson, 80-yard touchdown for Burlington.
Well, old Mad Dog does it again. It's unbelievable the change, the special teams play that we've had this evening. It's hard to believe. We'll elaborate a little bit on Althauser's play. First of all, great athletic ability, good speed. Althouse, Larson comes back and says, hey, right in your face, baby. We're taking it all away. Burlington's right back in it.
And Mike Kramer is going to have a chance to kick what could be a very important extra point.
Yeah, they're doing something a little different here, Jeff. He's not kicking from the center of the field the way it looks. I don't know if field conditions are poor, but looks to me like he's kicking a little bit to the left.
There's a good shot. Kramer puts it up, and it is good. Barely made it over the right crossbar. And we've got ourselves a football game once again, friends, right here from Burlington. It's now Elkhorn 19, Burlington 14. We'll be back with, I'm sure, more exciting action right after these words. Well, it isn't quite standing room only, but there's a lot of interested people in this football game because it's for the Southern Lakes Conference Championship. And for the third time in this series of downs, Elkhorn has a third down opportunity that they must make to keep control of the football game. Third and a long 5. Straight ahead, Kenny Trapp. That is a first down, no doubt about it. And I'm not exactly sure where he got to, but it's got to be close to the 10-yard line. Excellent trap blocking in that play, Jim.
They trap block or cross block just perfect that time, and Trapp is a bruiser. Trapp is a horse. You're not going to put him down with an arm. He's a real impressive junior running back, 181 pounds. Yankee's got a couple of horses coming back next year. He's not out of the picture at all in terms of what's going to happen next year.
First down and goal at the 9. Trap again, but this time he's buried at the line of scrimmage.
Burlington was waiting for that one. There were a host of tackles involved in there. I have a feeling that on this particular down, this next particular down, with good footing to the right, we're going to see Mr. Althouse do something with the ball. He's probably their finest athlete in the backfield. When you're down in a situation like that, you want your best athlete to handle the ball. I expect to see him handle it.
Now I noticed that Elkhorn has put a couple of new players in the game. One of them is McClernand, and the other one, I believe, is Longhorn, Dave Longhorn, and a lineman came out. You called it, Jim. And Althouse is caught behind the line of scrimmage by linebacker Kelly Call.
Right, Call made a good defensive play on that particular play. The play was designed, there was confusion from the start a little bit. They sent a player in the ball game who didn't get to play in the huddle. Althouse had to come back, give him the play. When things like that happen, you know somewhere along the line there's going to be a missed assignment. Now whether Call made an exceptional defensive play or there was a missed assignment, we'll never know. But let's give credit to Kelly Call right now for putting Mr. Althouse down.
Third down goal from just outside the 10. Althouse is going to throw. And the ball is dropped on a pass that went over the shoulder of Tim Deaton and almost in the hands of Jack Barron.
Right, they had a man out in the flat. They threw to a man out in the flat, and he kind of threw a wounded duck on that particular play. It's a good thing it wasn't picked off because it was clear sailing if it was.
4th down, goal to goal from just outside the 10. And are we going to see a field goal from Howie Sawyers?
Yeah, he's putting the shoe on.
Big kick. They're up by 5. If he makes it, it becomes an 8-point game, and Burlington will have to go all the way with every single point they can muster to tie the football game.
What yard line are we on? He's kicking from about the 17, right?
That's right, 27 yards. Nice snap. Nice boot. It's good. Howie Sawyers has probably made the biggest kick of his life, a 27-yard field goal to make it an 8-point lead for Elkhorn, 22-14. And we'll be back with 4th quarter action here from Burlington right after these words.
Let's say a few words about Paul Yankey's coaching tactic on that particular one. Everybody knows kickers are temperamental. You use different psychology with kickers. Howie has had a long night. Howie missed a field goal. Howie missed 2 extra points. Paul Yankey did nothing to disturb Howie's mental makeup towards the kicking game. In other words, he let Howie work it out. Howie came through with a big field goal for him. That's good coaching on Paul's part.
And Howie is going to kick the ball off to the right side short. And he's going to kick it out of bounds, and I'm not at all sure that's exactly what Coach Yankee wanted.
Maybe he wanted to lose the game ball in the crowd, and we'd have to stop the game. That's good field position for Burlington. In high school, when the ball is kicked out of bounds, it goes to the 40-yard line. So Burlington starting with good field position.
Of course, given the special teams play of Burlington tonight, I guess that was the safest thing to do.
Very definitely. You called it, Jeff. I'm sure that maybe they didn't intend it to go out of bounds, but they certainly didn't want to give Burlington's deep backs a chance to handle it.
Burlington does not exactly have their backs to the wall, but they know they've got to score every single point that they can possibly score in this drive to get back in the football game, and there's going to be an illegal motion penalty on Satenga as he took off much too early.
Fumble, Elkhorn recovers.
And a fumble. Double indemnity for Burlington. Illegal motion. Burlington. No way. Elkhorn's ball.
Fumble on the snap again. There's some problems on the snap. David's walking off with the towel in his hands. All that's really happening is he's not taking control of the ball before he wants something to happen with it. That's a big fumble right there. It's a big fumble recovery for Elkhorn.
And with 10:08 to play in the game, it's ball control time for the Elks, who've looked mighty impressive tonight.
This is a nice high school football game, Jeff. It's enjoyable to watch something like this.
And it's enjoyable to watch Ken Trapp just bust his way forward continuously for Elkhorn as he crosses the Burlington 40 down to the 38.
We give a lot of credit to coaches Paul Yankee and Don Dalton. This thing could have been a real boring affair, but they both have well-schooled, well-trained, well-disciplined football teams. People are seeing a very fine high school football game tonight. A lot of excitement.
And you've got to be impressed with Elkhorn. They had their backs against the wall immediately with less than 1 minute gone in the first half. And they've come back to take an 8-point lead, even though they've had a couple of breaks against them. Here's Allhouse on a delay play to McLernan. And McLernan again sort of tippy-toes his way through there for the first down as he gets to the 30-yard line of Burlington.
He was hit a couple of times with just arm tackles, and he is too hard a runner to try and bring down with the arms. He wrapped his arms around the ball. He ran hard. He's a high stepper. He's a fine-looking junior back. Goodness gracious, it's kind of awesome to think of Trapp and McLernan being back next year in the same backfield.
Absolutely. In fact, the way that they run, it seems as though this field condition is almost tailor-made for Elkhorn. They're straight ahead power runners. First down, and there's one. There's Trapp, and boy, what a great big runner he is as he crosses the 20 down to inside the 20 to the 18 and a first down.
Oh, if I was Paul Yankee, I sure would put off any retirement thoughts for a year, or for at least another year. We've got McLernan, we've got Trapp, We've got Howie Sawyer. He's got some people coming back. That's an impressive football team. School, 575 students. That's an excellent football team we're watching out there tonight.
The ball is marked at the 17, and barring any major accidents, it looks as though Elkhorn's going to take this ball in. And Trapp gets it again, but a nice pile-up tackle by the interior of Burlington's line. You saw 43 there.
That's Jeff Thumler again.
And he wasn't the man who stacked it up. It was the interior of Burlington's line. Dave Dirks and Mike Kukas piled that team up, and Trapp was held to a yard. 2nd and 9. And I guess this is it for Burlington's defense. They got to do it now or forget about it.
All right, it's so long, Charlie, if they put this one in the end zone.
They've got to get to the 7 for the first. Trapp again. He might go all the way. And he does. Touchdown, Elkhorn.
Boy, I'll tell you, he's a nice, hard, solid runner. He's a throwback to the old days. You used to watch the old football players, the Jimmy Taylors, the Jimmy Browns, in mud-laden games. That's just what Mr. Trapp looks like right now. He's invincible right now.
Absolutely, and again, the impressing thing about it is that in the second half, they know no direction. Same spectator caught that ball.
Right, one of these days they won't get it back. He'll be through the tennis courts and out on the street.
7:44 to play in a very excellent championship football game for Burlington on a night in which we thought might be something like 6-zip, 3-0, 7-6, but it turns out to be 28-14 Elkhorn.
What's happening here, Jeff, is with those kickoffs, Paul Yankee is showing an awful lot of confidence in his defense. An awful lot of confidence.
Burlington has had to rely on the very, very big play tonight. They've gotten 2 of them, and it's led to 2 scores. 1st and 10. Satenga, left side. He tried to cut, slipped, and then regained his balance across the 45 to the 47.
Well, now we run into kind of a basic problem with Burlington's offense. Burlington's down 2 touchdowns. Their passing attack is based on the premise that they try and get the ball to a back coming out of the backfield. A lot of times it's off of play action. When you're down by 2 touchdowns, play action really does not fool anybody.
2nd and 3, but even then, at this particular point, the yardage doesn't really matter. The ball's got to go downfield. And Walter's going to throw. It is wobbly, and it is almost intercepted. That was Kelly Truesdale, the left cornerback, and he almost intercepted that pass that was headed for Joe Crean.
Right, it kind of got up in the fog and did a little flutter up there. It was well covered. Elkhorn had a man in front of the receiver and a man behind the receiver, and it was a tough throw for Walters. It was at an angle, and it's almost an impossible throw.
3rd and 3, at least Burlington must make that first down. And they're going to go for it with Satenga again left side, but he is caught. And was that a fumble?
Well, I don't think he's got the first down. It's going to be awful close. If he's got it by the nose of the ball. They're not even going to measure. They're giving it to him.
And that's exactly what they did, Jim. He got it by about half the length of the football. And so with just under 7 minutes to play in the game, Burlington's got new life at the midfield stripe. And they're 50 yards away from getting back into the game, 14 points down. Walter throws. Oh. He was hit before he got a chance to get it off. And that was the same play as before with Joe Crean deep on the right side. But that time Walter never had a chance.
Right. We can't see the numbers anymore, but the person who did it knows it's the left defensive end for Elkhorn. His number is totally...
I'll identify that. That was Mike Samuelson.
Okay, Samuelson put on a tremendous rush. He really clocked the blocking back, and he put the rush on Walters, and Walters didn't stand a prayer on that one.
2nd down and 10. Larson around right end, and Truesdale made a very fine tackle for if Larson is able to cut left, he's got an open field.
Right, he's got the first down for sure if the tackle isn't made, and possibly more because Larson's got the quickness to break it in the open field. We've got a situation here, 3rd and 5. It's the situation that coaches dread. It's a little too far for the run, and it's a little too short for the pass. So what do? Flip a coin?
Well, let's see what kind of coin is flipped here. Slot right is Satanga. Looking pass. Nice. Crane, he's open. He breaks a tackle. Almost breaks another one and drags that tackler across the 30 down to the 29.
Okay, normally you throw a look-in pass to the end. Crean was winged out on the right-hand side that time, caught the ball, made a nice cut across the center of the field, and picked up first down yardage. We're a long ways from being over yet, Jeff. Burlington just keeps moving the ball.
Was Crean listed at a tight end spot that time? He seemed to really get through there
He
fast.
was out on the wing. He was out on the wing just as if I can't see the number right now, but just as if the player is right now. He caught the ball from the wing position.
Okay, 1st and 10, and again Crean, who is taking a little bit of a leadership role in this drive, takes it to about the 25. Burlington now running on guts, no doubt about it. We've got 5:15 to play in the football game, and they're down by 2 touchdowns and an extra point for both. 6. The gain was 4. The ball is short of the 25. Walter will throw on 2nd down. Intercepted by Elkhorn, and that should do it. Intercepted at the 15. And you heard it from the public address announcer, Steve Levin, with the big play for Elkhorn.
Okay, what we had there was, number one, a good defensive play by the defensive back, but we had a little bit of a slow read by Walters. Satanga was the intended receiver. He went down and did a deep curl or a deep hook. He was open, but Walters released the ball a little bit too late. That's a problem that you have when you don't work on your passing game too much. The timing isn't there, and consequently the defensive back had the step or two that he could step in front.
And Lavin did an excellent job of bringing that football back, and Ken Trapp gets the call on 1st down and gains a couple across the 25 to the 27. And right now, you have to say that barring a couple of miracles, Elkhorn's going to head for the Class B state playoffs.
Right, I don't know. See, it's done a little different this year, Jeff. I don't know if it's A, B. What they're doing is pairing them up by enrollments. So Elkhorn will be probably down in like a Class 2 or 3 situation, and boy, you watch your papers, people, because this is a good football team, and they're going to win it. You mark my words.
And Trapp, who for MVP, 40.
Excellent throw and excellent catch. Larson had a man draped all over him. That pass had to be perfect. David Walters made it perfect. Larson extended the body and made an excellent catch. But like you said, the play originated from a spot that they would not have wanted it to come from. It sure would have been nice to start that drive from the 17.
Little more breathing room. That did not get the first down. The gain was almost 8. 2nd down, 2.5. And Walter again over the middle of Creed. Nice catch. Across midfield, 45-42.
Okay, I'm going to correct myself. I think you called it. Crean probably was lined up at a tight end when he caught that look-in pass over the middle about 3 or 4 plays ago. They had 41 out in the wing, which was Satanga, and Crean did line up at a tight end. Burlington basically, when they go with their 2 tight end system, goes with you might say, and I know they'll take offense, but 7 linemen. In other words, their 2 tight ends are basically tackle-type people. They probably feel that Crean has better speed and better hands, and when going to a passing attack, they'll probably go with a person like him, bring him out of the backfield and line him up at what some people call a skill position spot.
Timeout on the field. We'll be back with more 4th quarter. Burlington making a drive, making a go at it, as they have gained first down yardage into Elkhorn territory. They're at the 43 of Elkhorn. Dave Walter wounded duck. Satenga was open. He slips, and did he catch it? No, the referee was right there, as he should be. And Satenga almost caught that circus catch at about the 13-yard line.
Right, you called it. That was a wounded duck. This is duck season, David. He got it up in the air. The wet ball probably slipped out of his hand. Lauren was laying flat on his back, and only a man of really good athletic ability, such as Lauren has, could have possibly caught a ball like that. It must have slipped out of his hands, too, as he laid on the ground down there.
2nd down and 10, but again, these first downs are only important in terms of drives. Burlington has to score now. Walter is being rushed, and he's got an open field. He's got one tackler, and he goes right by him. And he goes out of bounds and stops the clock wisely at the 27.
Real fine decision on David's part. First of all, the decision was not to throw it up in the air for grabs. Second part of the good decision was he got out, he knew where the first down yardage was. He got the first down, and he went out of bounds, stopping the clock without having to utilize the time. A real heady play by a heady athlete.
These teams have not played since 1976. And Burlington won that game big, if I'm not mistaken, something like 39-0. But Elkhorn has reversed it tonight. Walter faked, he'll throw, right flat, it's going to be intercepted, and that is Truesdale. Truesdale with this, I think, his second interception of the night at the 15, and he's running around and breaking time. He gets a couple of blocks. Kelly Truesdale. And he goes out of bounds at the 34-yard line. But I'll tell you, that kid made a great interception, and he made a great run to kill some time, and actually, I think, nailed the door shut now as far as Burlington is concerned.
Right. If Mr. Truesdale would have taken off down the sidelines, he'd have had himself 6 points because there was nobody out there. He did a good job. He must have run 30 seconds off the clock. He did about 3 30-yard sprints there in running it off. Too bad. Yeah, but I think you're right, Jeff. I think the ball game's over now. Elaborate a little bit more on that interception later.
We expect to see Elkhorn basically sitting on the ball, possibly fullback Ken Trapp doing the majority of the ball carrying, and he almost fumbled or slipped before he got the ball, and he is brought down for either short yardage or a loss.
Right, the Elkhorn shoulder strap right now. They're guarding against one thing, and that's a poor handoff. I don't know what the timeout situation is, but if nobody calls timeout, they would only have to run 2 more plays and the game would be over.
There was a loss of a yard, but we're now inside of a minute to play, and I can fairly safely say right now that barring a fumble recovery for a touchdown run back or something, this game is over. Trapp again, and Ken Trapp with a beautiful football game tonight. Gains down to the 38. It's going to be 3rd down, but that is a moot point right now. We're inside of 30 seconds, and Elkhorn now is going to hit the state playoffs with a very, very, very impressive football game tonight against the Burlington Demons.
Well, let's give credit where credit is due. You start at the top. Paul Yankee, a respected coach in the conference, an emotional coach, a riverboat gambler. He's got one hell of a fine football team, and they're going to go a long ways in this state playoff, mark my word. Let's give credit to Don Dalton. His kids played well all year. He has nothing to be ashamed of. I'm sure it's heartbreaking, and I'm sure a loss like this is tough to stomach, but when you come out of a season 8-2, I don't think there's anything to be ashamed of. I think that it should be a good feeling.